Silence can be something that you adapt as a mode of survival. Silence can be a shield, a protest, or a choice. I've learned that not every silence is weakness. Sometimes it's the loudest thing in the room. My silence says, I won't play your games. I will not argue with noise. My silence is not surrender, it's a boundary. It's me reclaiming my peace. Dr. Myles Munroe once said that words are like money. The more you spend it, the less valuable they become. So in today's video, I will be sharing with you 8 situations when your silence is wise. But before we start, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button and comment down below what situation were you silent in that helped you more than you knew then. So before I begin, I want to say that this video is heavily influenced and heavily inspired by a video I watched of Dr. Myles Munroe on 8 situations to be silent, and I'll link it down below. So let's go ahead and start. Like as usual, I have my notes with me and I'll be looking down so that this video won't be all over the place. The first situation when silence is wise is when you're being provoked. When someone is provoking you, then they want you to react. Like they want to see your reaction. If someone is provoking you, that means that they're not even, they themselves are not at peace and they're trying to reflect that on you. So what your silence does is it doesn't give them the satisfaction that they were looking for, and also it makes them start questioning themselves. It forces them to sit with themselves and think about what they did because you did not react to their provocation. And the second situation when you should be silent is when someone is being vulnerable. When someone is being vulnerable with you or opening up to you about something, you should listen more than talk. You should be quiet. Okay? And you should give them space to express what they're feeling. Make them feel heard. Make them feel heard and make them feel they matter because they do. And sometimes we find ourselves wanting to pitch in and tell about something similar that happened to us, but then it's all about discernment. You need to discern when this person is just looking for a listening ear and a shoulder to lean on, and when they're looking for advice. If they're looking for advice, then you can chip in after they're done sharing what they're sharing and let them know about something that happened to you. But if not, if they're just looking for a listening ear, then be that. The third situation when silence is wise is when you're surrounded by gossip. Ooh, I'm also learning this myself. I'm not gonna say I'm perfect in this area, but I'm trying to teach myself how to. If you're a lady, and I'm not saying that men don't gossip, but ladies, you know yourselves. So, like, when you're around gossip, you need to have strategic silence. Strategic silence is you don't contribute, you don't nod, and you don't laugh, but you also don't speak against the gossip. Just be quiet and don't participate at all. Like at first, they're gonna, like their reaction is gonna be, how should I say it, indifferent because they're used to you um, participating in the gossip, but then later they'll see you as someone who is trustworthy, as someone who wouldn't go behind someone's back and talk about them. And like Eventually they'll stop bringing the gossip to you because they know that you don't play that. Okay. The fourth situation when silence is wise is when learning something new. Oh, I feel convicted, but yo, when you're learning something new. Lately I have been teaching myself, like growing myself in areas, mostly intrinsic areas, and you get this urge to just share the wisdom that you've learned with people. And I feel like this one goes two ways. Like when someone is teaching you something new, and when you're trying to share what it is that you're learning. So you find yourself wanting to share in an area that you're premature of, you understand? Or if it's something that someone is teaching you something and you feel like you already know about it and you want to even talk more than them, then it even hinders you from absorbing it fully. You understand? So I feel like the results speak for themselves. If you're learning something new, then they'll see it for themselves. If you're learning patient, then the result will be, oh, Emily has become a more patient person. If you're learning how disciplined, then they'll see Emily is becoming more and more disciplined. So you don't need to talk about it. Just hush, absorb that information fully, like immerse yourself fully in whatever you're learning, in whatever you're teaching yourself, and yeah, let the results speak for themselves. Situation number 5, when you should be silent, is when you achieve something great. This also just goes hand in hand when you're learning something new and you're growing yourself. You feel like, oh, like I've achieved this, I want to talk about it. When you achieve something, you need to sit in that achievement, like solely to yourself, before you give it to the world and to other people, because they might take it away. Okay, you understand? I don't know how to explain it, but they might turn it into something it's not. So you need to savor it without the need of external validation. And I was also listening to someone by Apostle Joshua Salmon, where he's saying over celebrating achievements can like make it lose, like it can stop you from your next achievement. Okay, so you celebrate it, yes, but then move on, because the world will not clap for you twice, will not clap twice for what you did. Like you did it, they'll clap. If you do it again, then it's just something normal. And another thing that he said was like when a baby walks, takes the first step, you clap, but you don't clap when an adult takes the first step. So when you achieve something great, you don't need to share it, overshare. Of course, you can share with the people you love and all that, but then know, how should I say, your limits, or just celebrate it and then move on to the next. And then when you don't talk about it and they found out that it happened, they're like, wow, like she really just did this for this, and not for the validation, not for the applause and all that. It was solely for her, right? And the sixth situation when you should be silent is when you're angry. Oh, you need the Holy Spirit for this. You need grace, okay? Because what's said cannot be unsaid. And when you're angry, you can find yourself saying things that you don't even mean. Like anger destroys friendships, it destroys partnerships, it destroys what was once good. Like you say, when you're angry, you do things you never meant, you make decisions you never would have, like bad decisions, and you burn bridges. And it can, like I said, words once said cannot be taken back. So when you're angry, you just have to be silent. Pray for grace if you need to, but be silent, okay? And The seventh situation when you need to be silent is when you need to hear your inner voice. When you need to hear your inner voice, you need to get away. I don't know why these kids always come out to play when I'm filming videos, but when you need to hear your inner voice, you need clarity, solutions to problems, and truth. You can only get that in a silent place. Like, the world can be so noisy. The world can get so noisy sometimes, and you need to get away from that. You need to spend time with yourself. It can be even in the room that you're at, or in the wee hours of the morning when you wake up. What you do is you pray and just sit in silence. I don't know why I keep on mixing silence and silent. You sit in silence and you listen to what your inner voice has to say. The eighth situation when you need to be silent is when you need clarity and direction from the Lord. Sometimes we pray and pray and pray, and we leave the room even before we let God speak. We don't sit silently there and wait for Him to speak. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a master of that. I'm still teaching myself to do that. Sometimes I just pray and pray and pray and pray, and once I'm done, I doze off, or I continue with that Golden Girls episode that I had left in the middle, or just I don't sit there with the Lord and be like, Lord, just speak to me, like no music, no nothing, just you in the presence of the Lord and waiting for Him to give you direction. Because, like I said in my other video, direction without speed speed without direction is a waste of time. You're basically running nowhere. And yeah, those are the 8 situations when silence is wise. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share with me, like I said in the beginning, share with me situations when your silence was wisdom and you didn't even know it then, or maybe you did, and like what it saved you from. Like, I'd really like to know. And yeah, see you on the next one. Bye bye.